everybody, and welcome back to Louisiana Homestead. Today I want to take a look at my potatoes in my shed and see how they're holding up, and I want to gather some of the smaller ones so that I can can them. So let's go take a look and see how they're holding up. As you can see, when you store them, they do deteriorate. You do lose some. You see I lost that one, that one, that one. So I need to can some of them. Now there's not a huge loss, but there are several of them that are lost. The smaller ones are going to be the one that I want to can. That's the kind that you would can, is the smaller ones. So I'm going to try to pick me out enough where I can fill up 7-quart jars, because that's how much my canner will hold. So this is the size that I'm going to be gathering. So I'm going to continue to gather those, and then I'll show you what I have when I'm done. When you're raising your own potatoes, you do get a lot of small ones out of it. And I'm going to show you what I gathered out of there. This is a pretty big bowl, and I got it almost full of nothing but these small potatoes. Now these small potatoes is the ones that I want to can, because I'm not going to have to cut them up and peel them and all that. The reason I chose those also is because I don't want to have to deal with these little bitty potatoes to make potato salad and stuff like that, to make french fries or anything, because they're just too little for that. Now they are very dirty, so what I'm going to do is put some water in them and put them soaking for a little while. Because I have to have them completely clean to can them. So I'm going to make sure that I get these cleaned up well. Okay, I've got a lot of these potatoes soaking. Instead of sitting here and scrubbing them for hours, because there's a lot of them here, I put them soaking for hours. So I'm going to re-rinse them, and hopefully they'll be clean enough now. So I'll go on ahead and give them a good turning about like this, and transfer them and put some more clean water on them and see what we've got. And break off any little undesirable pieces. A lot of dirt has come off of them, I see. It's definitely the way to clean them. So letting them clean themselves, basically. They are a lot cleaner, I can tell. I don't see any dirt stuck to them either. That's awesome. I've changed the water in these probably about 3 times. And let them soak for a good while each time. And I'm going to do it one more time because the water's still coming out pretty dirty. See that? Still pretty dirty. Okay, now I'm going to go through them, and any of them that have a little bad spot on them like this, where it could be a little bug in there, I'm going to get that out of there, because I don't want any canned bugs in my canned potatoes. So you see any little spots like that, I'm just going to go through and dig those out. You see that? I wouldn't want that in my canned potatoes. Some bad spots like those. So it is going to take some time to go through these. But that's part of the preserving process when you growing your own stuff. So I'm going to get on through these. And obviously I'm not going to leave the camera on for this whole process because that would just be way too long. And I'll show y'all what I have when I get done. They waiting to catch anything I throw off this table. Huh? You waiting for something? Well, that was nice and loud. Well, I could tell that I had plenty enough to do more than one canner full. So when I thought I had enough to do one canner full, which is 7-quart jars, I brought my potatoes in and I filled up these 7 jars to make sure I had enough. Then I put them in here and I got them, bringing them to a boil with just a little salt because I'm not going to be reusing this water. I'm going to be using some fresh water. This is going to boil for about, I think it said 2 to 4 minutes once it starts boiling. And I got my canner. This is a pressure canner. I got the bottom in it, and I've got about 2 to 3 inches of water in there, and I got that heating. I checked my lid, make sure I could see light through there. You see there? It's hard to do with one hand, but you can see light through there. That's this little thing I was looking through, the steamer. So this is an all-American pressure cooker canner. And this one does not have a rubber seal in it, so you just oil the rim of the top of it. Since I have so much work to do, I figured I would get this started while I'm still cleaning the other potatoes. Okay, these are small potatoes, so they only need to parboil for 2 minutes. I got all my canning stuff I'm gonna need. This is used to get the bubbles out of the jars. This is used to get the jars out of the hot water so you don't have to get burned. This is a wide funnel and a ladle, which is sort of stained from making pickles, but that's okay. I brought my kettle in, put some water in it boiling because I'm going to need fresh water to top off my potatoes when I get them out. Get my ladle on here to get started. My potatoes are starting to heat up. It won't be long before they're boiling, so I just want to make sure the bottom ones go to the top and the top ones go to the bottom. Give them a good stir. Just waiting for those to boil and letting them boil for 2 minutes like I said. The heat's coming up in this canner as well. I've also got some never used before lids out. I got one this size because I have one jar I'm using that's that size. I've got the rings and the canning salt and some vinegar to wipe the rims with. Okay, these have been boiling for 2 minutes. So I can turn those off and start getting them into my jars. Now we're going to put hot water to top, hot clean water to top all of these off. They're all going to take a teaspoon of salt. There is a little bit of bubbles in it, not much, as it would be with something that was more packed like green beans or something, but there's a little bit of air bubbles in there, so I'm going to get those out. Alright, now I'm going to wipe those tops off. And get my lids on. And screw these bands on. Use a rag to hold these jars because they're hot. They're hot already. You don't want to over tighten these. You just want to tighten them hand tight, you know, like that. Oh wait, I need a bigger one for that one. Here we go. Okay, so now I can place those into the canner and get my counter space kind of cleared up. Okay, this is my last 3 jars. I got the salt in them already. Just need to add this boiling clean water. Leaving about 1 inch of headspace in each one. I already moved the other ones into the canner. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna wipe my lids off with a little bit of vinegar on a clean napkin here, just so to help us ensure that we'll get a good seal. These bands on hand tight. The bands I have used before, but you can reuse the bands, so that's okay. So that's what it looks like, and you can see that I don't have the water over the lids because it's not supposed to be. I just have it, I had put like 2 to 3 inches of water in the bottom of it. Next thing I'm going to do is get this lid on here. Like that. I want to put it in a way that the gauge is facing me where I can see it. And now I'm just going to screw it down. So all these have to come up all the way around. Basically, I like to do 2 that are right across from each other, start them going, and continue this process all the way around for this canner. This is the only canner I've ever used, so this is the only canner I know how to use. The instructions just say to tighten them up like this, and I like to look at them and check the gap here and here, make sure the gaps are about the same width all the way around, and everything looks pretty good here. And it also tells me that I don't have to worry about stripping these out and to get them as tight as possible. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, I think that's pretty good. And now I'm going to bring my heat up. The water in it's already hot, but I've got to get it hotter than that. Okay, I've got my heat on high, and I'm waiting for my steam to come out in a steady stream. Okay, we got a steady stream of steam. Our weight is 10 on this weight, so I'm going to put that on there because that's when it's time to add it, when you see that full stream of steam coming through. So I added the weight. I'm basically going to be cooking at 11 pounds of pressure, which we're about to right there. And when this makes its first jiggle, I'm going to start timing it for 40 minutes. I got this information. I'm using the information that came with the canner for potatoes. There's the first jiggle. So I'm going to start my timer for 40 minutes. It should be jiggling only 1 to 4 times per minute. And this should be at 10 to 11. So I'm gonna have to reduce my heat some to get that like I want to, but I'm not gonna reduce it fast. I'm gonna reduce it slow. The 40 minutes is up. I'm gonna turn this off and I'm gonna wait for this pressure gauge to go down to 0, and then and only then will I remove the weight. It's been 40 minutes and my pressure is all the way down to 0. So I can remove this weight. It's very hot. Well, there went my timer. It's very hot, so I did use a cloth to remove it. Now I'm gonna let this sit for 2 minutes before I take the lid off. Now that it's been off the jiggler's been off for 2 minutes, I can start unscrewing this. It says I can take the drawers out immediately, but what I'm going to do is tilt this back that way, let some of this steam out, and just so it doesn't siphon too much, I'm going to leave that lid kind of half cocked for a few minutes before I take my drawers out. These can now come out. I feel comfortable that they've comfortable now that they've dropped enough temperature that I can get them out of here. And we have some potatoes. Very nice too. They're sealing. I hear them popping. And they look like they didn't siphon much. Looks like a lot of the water is still all the way to the where we had put it. I'll be wiping this stuff off of it after they cool down. But aren't they pretty? Ooh, that's gonna be good. All them little potatoes made 7 quarts right here. But I'm about to do 7 more quarts over here, but I'm not going to tape that because I already showed y'all how I did it. So I made 14 quarts of canned potatoes out of those little bitty potatoes. So that's no small potatoes, right? Okay, that can be added to my pantry, and I'll have that on my shelf whenever I want to cook something and I want potatoes already done. I'll have them. So I guess that's all for this video, guys. I hope you learned a little something, and I hope you'll like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, bye.